Good morning, grade 7 students. Today is June 3rd, 2020, and welcome to our topic, Pronoun Antecedent Agreement, focusing on compound nouns and indefinite pronouns. We will revise these topics for our coming exam. Now, let us have the three expectations that we need to complete or achieve. The first one is to play the instructional video and answer the questions posted on this video. Second, complete the assigned card test or the differentiated activities. And the third is to complete the Mastery Connect quiz. Let's move on to our learning objective. As I have said a while ago, we will have the revision, pronoun antecedent agreement, compound nouns, and indefinite pronouns. And for our learning objective, we will apply, or all the students will apply the rules of pronoun antecedent agreement in different contexts correctly. We have three keywords. We have the pronoun antecedent agreement, compound nouns, and indefinite pronouns. And let's proceed to the next slide with this starter activity. And for our starter activity, as usual, you're going to fill in the blank with the correct pronoun that agrees with its antecedent using the words in the box. We have her, their, his or her. And for number 1, Annie or Jenny will take blank lunch early. Number 2, Omar and Ahmed always bring blank Chromebooks to school. Number 3, either the pilot or his assistant has informed blank passengers to get ready for the takeoff. Your turn. Please choose your answer. Thank you. So for pronoun antecedent agreement, we all know that we have compound nouns and indefinite pronouns. Now let's proceed with compound nouns first. Okay, let us recap the rules how to use pronoun antecedent agreement when we have compound nouns. Now the first rule we have, use a singular personal pronoun to refer to two or more singular antecedents joined by or nor. Now let's look at the first picture. Neither Annie nor Jenny. Annie, Jenny, noun and noun. Annie is noun, Jenny is noun, has completed her homework on time. Now, my pronoun here is her. Why? Because Jenny is a girl and Annie is also a girl. Now, we have nor between them and we will just choose only one. So, her is our pronoun. Number 2. The student or the teacher will conduct his or her research at the library. Our antecedents, we have the student and also teacher. Now we have or between them, so we will just choose one. Now the problem is we do not know the gender of the teacher and also the student. So if we do not know the gender, we will use his or her. That's why our pronoun here is his or her. Okay, now let's proceed with the second rule. When a compound noun is made up of one singular and one plural subject joined by or nor, the pronoun agrees with the plural noun. Now again, if we have two antecedents, okay, combined by nor or, and we have singular antecedent and we have plural antecedent, we will use the plural antecedent, okay, as for using the pronoun. Now our pronoun here is their. That's why I use their here, okay. We will agree with the plural noun, okay. So let's proceed with the next slide. The second rule is use a plural personal pronoun with two or more singular plural antecedents joined by and. This is very simple. If two compound nouns are joined by and, all you have to do is to use the plural their, them, or they sometimes, right? So let us use them in two sentences, or in sentences, I mean. Number 1, I want to meet Lorna and her friends because I want to have fun with them. Now, our antecedents here, we have Lorna and friends. And we have and between them, so it's automatic. We will use them here. Them is our pronoun. Number 2, the researchers and the doctors are doing all their best to fight the pandemic. Now we have two antecedents here again, researchers and the doctors. Look at the highlighted words, the red words, the highlighted words, researchers and doctors, and we have and between them. So I use their here for our pronoun. It agrees with its antecedents, researchers and doctors. Now let us practice. For our practice, I want you to construct your own sentence using the given antecedents and pronouns below. Choose two only. Okay, so for number 1, I want you to use the antecedents, the dog and the cat, and then use the pronoun there. Number 2, antecedents neither Jim nor Ben, and use his for pronoun. Number 3, either the principal or the teachers, and then use their as for the pronoun. Okay, so your turn. Thank you. So now we're ready to recap the pronoun antecedent agreement, focusing on indefinite pronouns. Let us have the rules. The first rule is use a singular personal pronoun when its antecedent is singular indefinite pronoun. Now I'll make it simple. Always remember, if the antecedent is a singular indefinite pronouns, these are the indefinite pronouns inside the box. Okay? If you see them already, then use singular personal pronoun. It's very simple. Like for the first example, we have the antecedent anyone here, and anyone means singular indefinite pronoun. So we will use his or her. Why his or her for our pronoun? Because we do not know the gender. Is it boy, girl? No, we do not know. Okay, but we already know that anyone is always singular indefinite pronoun. It is always a singular indefinite pronoun. Okay, so let us have the first sentence. Anyone who is late for the test will take his or her test at the library. Second, we have one of the dogs has lost its bone. Okay, one, we already know that's singular. So we have dogs here, and dogs, they are not human. Remember the neuter? Alright, so we will use its. We will not use her or his or her. We cannot use that because we have dogs here. Okay, now let's proceed with the next slide. Avoiding problems with pronoun antecedent agreement. We have some complex indefinite pronouns. It's not easy sometimes to use them. Like we have all, any, most, none, some. Look at these two sentences. For number 1, most of the water fell out of its canister. If the object is uncountable, uncountable means we cannot count it into pieces, like we cannot say 1, 2, 3, like water, then the pronoun has to be singular. Its. Okay, so how about for number 2? Most of the gems have lost their shine. Now here I use their. Okay, and the first one I used it. Now what's the difference between the two? Because for number 2, my antecedent is most. The same with number 1. However, the underlined word here is gems. If the object is countable, countable means that's the time we can count it into pieces. If the object is countable, like gems, then the pronoun needs to be plural, their. So that's the difference between the two. You have to check whether the object is uncountable, then you will use its. If the object is countable, then you will use their as for the pronoun. So now let's practice. I want you to construct your own sentences using the images below. Use the rules of pronoun antecedent agreement focusing on indefinite pronoun. Now I have already here the pronouns and the antecedents that you are going to use. The first one, all doctors, and then use their for your pronoun. Number 2, one of the math problems, use its for the pronoun. It's very simple. I know you can do that. So your turn, girls and boys. Thank you. Now for our integration with literature, the Charts of Light Brigade, we have the image here. So let us use the antecedents, indefinite pronouns, and the plural pronouns. So we have both the leader and the soldiers fell off their horses. No one of the soldiers questioned his leader's command. Most of the Russian soldiers used their guns and cannons. Okay, let's move on. Expert group activity. Group 1 or A will have a list of 5 sentences. They have to identify the pronoun that agrees with its antecedent, compound nouns, and indefinite pronouns. They will also construct 2 sentences that contain the rules of pronoun antecedent agreement. Group 2 or B will have a list of 7 sentences. They have to fill with the pronoun that agrees with its antecedent, focusing on compound nouns and indefinite pronouns. They will also construct 3 sentences that contain the rules of pronoun antecedent agreement. And for group 3 or C will have an incomplete story or a paragraph. They will fill in or complete the sequence of the story using the rules of pronoun antecedent agreement, focusing on, of course, compound nouns and indefinite pronouns. Please don't forget to click the Turn In button right away after you complete your work in Google Slides. And for our AFL, answer the checking for understanding questions through Mastery Connect using your username and password. Please do not share your password to anyone. So that's all for today, students. Thank you and best of luck.